I ran big events, and here's why Baltimore's Million Lives Book Festival should have been cancelled early. Now, we're going to break down this festival's epic fail from the inside out. I'm going to share more on the background of the festival, what happened on the weekend, sharing voices from the ground. I'm going to give you my personal take on what I think went wrong. And I haven't heard anyone say this yet, which I think it's just incredibly obvious. So we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about all the mistakes I think happened. Because again, as someone who's ran big events myself, I know when it's time to pull the plug. I know when it's time to cancel. I've had great successes. I've had epic fails. The most important thing you need to do in event planning is not cause damage to yourself, your vendors, your attendees, and any supporters. Now, some quick background on the festival. Over the weekend of May 2nd through to May 3rd, 2025, it should have been a really wonderful event, the A Million Lives Book Festival. Now, it has been described, according to the website, A Million Lives Book Festival is a perfect event to make more bookish friends. This event will include a vendor hall, panels, a content creation room, fandom cosplay meetups, a cosplay competition, and a ball. This was scheduled for May 2nd through 3rd, 2025 in Baltimore, Maryland, USA, more specifically the Hilton Baltimore Inner Harbor. Now, ticket prices started at $50. We had the page turner level at $50, Cloud Walker $150, and Dreammaker at $250. So it was a wide-ranging ticket price event. So you could come in low at $50 and on the higher end, $250. All in all, sounds pretty good, sounds affordable. And organizers shared with attending authors that they had sold 500 to 600 tickets. They had lined up big panels, VIP swag bags, a Lavender Romance Ball, and like I said, a creators lounge for authors and influencers, and just all the really fun amenities. But when Friday, day one of the festival, rolled around, attendees found empty halls, abandoned vendor tables, and panel rooms without chairs. So just imagine paying good money and then being told you might have to sit on the floor for some of the panels. Now, authors who were in attendance at the event shared their experiences of what it was like on the ground. Stephanie Coombs shared that she essentially flew in super excited for her first festival, only to see 20 people show up on day one and about 100 people on day two. There were no clear entry instructions, no reserved tables, and she watched readers trickle in, and she felt like she let her fans down. Author Percy J, who flew in from Texas, racked up thousands in travel and shipping costs, and she found herself spending the entire weekend encouraging new authors to keep going, even as she stood there and saw them tally their losses, not just on attending the event, but transporting their books, their swag, and all the unsold books. Because another key thing about this event is authors are banking on not just meeting their readers, signing books, marketing themselves, and promoting, they're trying to sell books too. Now, author Hannah Levin likened it to Fyre Festival vibes. No badges, she said no lounge, no swag, no food, nothing. And she and other debut authors were left stranded in a half-empty ballroom, wondering if their dreams of attending a big event, a great signing, they're starting to wonder if they had been exploited. Now, as you can see, people have been sharing their experiences on TikTok about the festival, their experiences, both from an author and attendee perspective. And an author who I really was captivated by their storytelling, they're the first author I saw sharing on social media, was author Kalista Neith. Now, if I butchered your name, sincere apologies, but I am planning to share some audio from the author on their experiences on the ground at the event. Now, I will be sharing this audio under fair use because I will be criticizing this. We are BNN right now, Biblio Lifestyle News Network, to share criticism and commentary and offer reporting. Now, this is audio from the first TikTok I heard from author Kalista Neith.
If any of my readers came here and you paid $250 for this, I am so sorry. I won't be coming back to any of these events. This is atrocious. This is the ball that we're seeing right now. This is the ball. It's in the basement of a convention center. That's a concrete floor. My fucking knees hurt.
Honestly, seeing the empty room, it's incredibly stark. I will include a link in the video's description so that you can watch the video, so you can see that what should be a fantasy ball is a basement. It's completely empty, void of decor. I will note at least there were tables and chairs, but there was no water, no food, no music. The music was actually being played from a speaker placed on the chair. Now, you might be wondering, who is the event organizer? The event organizer is Grace. Grace works for Archer Management, which is her own business and company. And Archer Management also offers author services in addition to putting on events. And Archer Management is the host of A Million Lives Book Festival. Now, in addition to the event being a fail for the attendees and the authors in terms of execution, behind the scenes, there was trouble as well. It has been reported by various authors. I've been following author Kalista Neith closely, but there's so many other authors who have been reporting there was zero communication in the days leading up to the festival. They also reported that they had trouble checking into their hotel and being told that the credit card on file from the event organizer was declined. When they got in contact with the organizer, Grace shared that her identity had been stolen and that her had been frozen. There was also mention that the DJ might have been hospitalized. Again, this is all alleged. I'm not 100% sure, but the DJ was sick, I guess called in sick. And just everything as it relates to the festival was just an epic fail. It is an understatement to say readers and authors were disappointed. Now, like I said, I have been following author Kalista Neith, who has been sharing her journey both on the ground and when she got back home and doing story time by sharing the full experience of the festival. But while at the festival, she demanded that the organizer give an apology, not just to attendees there, but also sharing an apology online. Now, I will be sharing the audio from author Kalista Neith. On the ground at the time, event organizer Grace said that she would be sharing an apology.
Okay, so the girl at the event that we're at, if you're here or if you've seen my schedule, you know where I am. These people that were with me at the time, she said that she was going to issue an apology on Insta or TikTok or whatever, something out there, and I told her to tag me in it so I can see it, and she said that she's issuing refunds. See, we all heard that, right? Issuing refunds, yes, yeah, all of us heard that. Rexy was also here, but she had to go sit down because poor Rexy, but she said she's issuing refunds, so we're waiting. Okay.
So at the event, while they were at the ball, Kalista Neith shared that she, the organizer Grace, for A Million Lives Book Festival, would be providing refunds. Now I will be sharing the audio from Grace, the organizer of A Million Lives Book Festival. This is her apology that was posted to TikTok.
Hi, everybody. I am wanting to issue a formal apology. I do understand that the ball tonight was not set up to standards. There were a lot of issues with getting set up, and it was not set up well. I want to apologize. If you would like a refund, please contact me, and I will issue a refund immediately. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am wanting to issue a formal apology. I do understand that the ball tonight was not set up to standards. There were a lot of issues with getting set up, and it was not set up well. I want to apologize. If you would like a refund, please contact me, and I will issue a refund immediately. Thank you.
As you can hear, a very, very short, I'm going on a limb and say not quite thought out apology. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, I ran big events, and Million Lives Book Festival, without saying, was an epic fail. So as someone who has ran big events myself, I know when it's time to pull the plug before you cause harm. Now, I'm going to give an example of an event I was organizing for my town, working with local small businesses. And the event did not come to fruition because of my experience in events, but also proper event management. Now, here's the thing. I don't think Grace, Archer Management, A Million Lives Book Festival, I truly don't believe, and maybe this is me being naive, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did not intend to defraud anyone. Instead, I think she had big ambitions. She wanted to put on something great and grand. However, I think the event got away from her. It got away from her in so many different ways. And I know right now there are folks watching this go down and they're probably saying to themselves, oh, I could have done this better. Listen, I've produced large scale events, and let me tell you, mistakes happen. It doesn't matter how organized you are. It doesn't matter if you hire an event planner. I promise you, things are going to happen. It takes you as an organizer having a few events under your belt before you lock in on vendors and partners that you can rely on. It takes a few events before you know, okay, this hotel has it packed down. This catering team is amazing. This event planner understands me. We work well. We see each other's vision and ideas. I know I can rely on this printer. I know I can rely on this shipper. I am telling you, it takes quite a few events. So I want to break down some of the mistakes I think happened. And as a person who has put on large scale events, let me tell you, the first thing you need is a deadline by which you need a certain amount of attendees paid and registered, vendors paid and registered, sponsors paid and registered before you can have your event. Because going back to my experience hosting an event in my town working with small businesses. I'm just going to give you an example. I needed, let's say, 50 businesses signed up and paid in order to cover the event cost, right? Just cover the event, advertise, because that was mostly what we had to pay for: radio advertising, print advertising, getting permits, getting signage around the county, that kind of vibe. So I needed 50 people. Let's say they were paying $100. That's what? $5,000? Yeah, I'm not good at math. Okay, so 50 people paying $100, that's $5,000. And I need this in order to make the event happen. So of course, you're calling everyone, you're confirming, you're emailing, you're doing all the things. My deadline, for example, is if I don't have this, if this event is happening in May, it means I need this a whole 18 months in advance. So if I don't have this 18 months before, let's say we set a deadline of January 2 years back, if I don't have that money by that deadline, I'm refunding everyone back and say, hey, we tried to make it happen, it didn't work, because that happened to me in real life. We did not have enough businesses signed up by my deadline. So all the people, and we weren't that far off, okay? We had 40 and we're like, okay, maybe we could wing it, but we knew we couldn't wing it because we were already down to bare bones budget, and whatever you plan, you're gonna spend more. It's like buying a house or renovating a place. It's the same thing. You're gonna spend more than you think you're going to spend. And these authors were told there were gonna be 500, 600 people. And the highest number I heard was about 100 attendees. There were more authors than there were attendees. So this tells me she didn't sell enough tickets. And if she didn't sell enough tickets, it means she didn't generate enough revenue to pull off the event she promised attendees, authors, vendors, and all the folks involved. So my thing is, by the time she hit a deadline, even if she was 6 months out and things weren't looking up, odds are you're going to lose whatever money you put down on the venue, but you're going to have to call it quits, because sometimes you have to walk away from losing a certain amount of money to save your reputation. Again, I've put down payments on venues, on things you had to walk away from. You had to cancel the event, but at least people know the next time you're going to put something on, it's going to be iconic, because they know you know what you're doing. Now, I don't know why there wasn't a ticket cut off time. It is clear the rooster was coming home to roost at the event. I will say this, I give her kudos for showing up. The fact that she showed up to the event, I'm like, wow, knowing you were walking into a flaming dumpster fire. It's clear information was not communicated to authors. It is clear the vision was bigger than the budget. And unfortunately, and this is something I see often on social media, it is hard for people to admit when they have failed or when things don't work out. And this event was crashing so fast. And I feel this gal felt like she had no way out. And that in itself is sad. There's so many authors, so many readers that are out so much money, and I empathize with them. I can't even imagine what it's like putting out all this money to attend this event. So for that reason, I do want to take a second to highlight and spotlight the authors that were advertised to be in attendance at this event. I want you to take a second, take a look. I will be including a link in the video's description so that you can see the authors that were listed to be in attendance at the event. I hope if you see authors you're familiar with, I hope you'll support them. But even the authors you're not familiar with, click on their photos, search for their names, find what books they're writing. If there's anything that you're reading that you're interested in, if you can, purchase a copy of their books. If you know someone who might be interested in these books, send them their way. As you can see, there are so many authors. There were also attending narrators as well. As you can see, I'm sharing some of these narrators on screen, and there were also attending vendors. Here we had featured guests. Here are some of the featured guests as well, who also happen to be authors, some of them. So I do hope that you'll take a look at these folks. I do hope that you'll consider supporting them, because I know they have been out so much money. I also just want to say it's more than just the online bookish community that's talking about it. This has also gotten to mainstream media as well. So I hope everyone involved, Grace, the authors, the vendors, the readers, the attendees, that everyone who was a part of this festival, I hope they're taking care. Unfortunately, the Million Lives Book Festival is a cautionary tale for both event organizers and authors. I don't think it's too late to learn from this, whether you're planning your first event, your first panel, whether you're buying your first table. Let this be a wake-up call. Honestly, there's so many little bookish scams that are happening in the community. It is honestly sad. It's hard for me to report on each and every one, but I do want us to have a conversation about this. Have you ever had an event flop? Have you ever had to pull the plug just in time? Have you been to another event like this? I remember where I was when Fyre Festival was happening, okay? That was during my heyday. And that itself was a dumpster fire. And now this is being dubbed as the Fyre Festival in the book community. Ugh. But anyways, I'd love for us to continue the conversation in the comments. Share your stories, share your tips, so we can build better, safer, bookish experiences. Because the last thing we want to be seeing shared across social media is stories of missing swag bags, broken badges, empty VIP lounges, a high-priced ball that just looks like an empty cafeteria with dollar store flowers strewn across tables. But anyways, if you attended the event, the organizer promised refunds by May 31st. But quite honestly, I feel the damage, both financial and emotional, has already been done. But if you attended this event, if you signed up, if you in any way participated, I don't know how, but the organizers are providing refunds. So please get in touch before May 31st. If you haven't already, now's a great time to like the video, share the video, tell a friend about the channel, but also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know what's new when I go live and when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.